So, knowing what I know about the March on Washington and the Emma Lazarus Federation definitely helps me understand the larger context of this photograph. I know that the Emma Lazarus Federation was interested in issues of justice not only for Jews but for other people, which I could have guessed from their association here. Um, uh, I know that there were not women who were speakers at the March on Washington, but this photograph reminds us that there were a lot of women who were present there that day, even if they were not speaking from the dais. And it also is a really important reminder that all different kinds of people were part of the civil rights movement and were activists and were present, including immigrants, including older people, including people who look very conventional. They don't look like radicals in any way. Um, it reminds us that it was really a multi-generational movement and that it was a multi-ethnic movement, and that Jews at this time understood their own responsibility to fight for the rights of others and saw their cause as something like the Emma Lazarus Federation, which fought for both issues around Jewish education and other issues of social justice and civil rights, really emphasizes the fact that the people of this community, the women of this organization, saw those issues as really being related to one another and issues that needed to be integrated in their work. And I think particularly that the banner says both March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom and Emma Lazarus Federation of Jewish Women's Clubs, how much they're putting their own identity out there and connecting it to the identity, to the larger purpose is a really important point. It's also partially why this photograph still exists, because it's part of the papers of the Emma Lazarus Federation of Jewish Women's Clubs. So it was part of a larger organization and therefore saved as part of that larger organization and housed in a Jewish organization. For us at the Jewish Women's Archive, it comes to us from two different directions, which I think is sort of an interesting, it gives us a sense of how the context influenced our view of this artifact. It originally came into the Jewish Women's Archive collection as part of our exhibit on Emma Lazarus, as part of a sense of how she's been understood throughout the ages and what her legacy is. And then we also use it in the context of our social justice materials and our materials on the civil rights movement. And so it's the integration of those two stories, both the memory of one particular Jewish woman who inspired other activists and our understanding of how Jewish women activists were part of this larger movement.